have you all here on our channel. It is expected that you will watch the videos in their entirety and give comments at the end of each video. You can find other videos we have prepared in the description. Without a doubt, the most recognizable feature in the vicinity is the Hellfire Club, which can be seen clearly against the backdrop of the Dublin mountains. The location, which is 1,275 feet above sea level and close to Mount Pellier's peak, was once a passage tomb. Built inside a cairn, a circle of big boulders, the tomb dates back to the Neolithic period, 4,500, 2000 BC. Located on Mount Pellier Hill, Speaker Connolly constructed the mansion around 1725. With a mansion on Capel Street in Dublin and a rural estate at Castletown, close to Selbridge, Connolly was among the richest Irishmen. Originally intended as a hunting lodge, he built the club. While constructing the hunting lodge, Connolly allegedly used the boulders to smash the cairn. A big storm subsequently blew off the roof, which had been slated initially. The locals believed that the devil was responsible for this disaster as retribution for the cairn's destruction. The locals began to associate the resort with evil after this incident, but a stone-arched roof took the place of the slated one, and Connolly installed it. On the top level, there was a hall and two sizable rooms. Above the living room and hallway was a little loft. Up a flight of stairs was the hall door. A huge kitchen, servants' quarters, and many smaller rooms made up the lower floor. With its north-facing orientation, every window offered a breathtaking panorama of Dublin. For many years after Connolly's death in 1729, the hunting lodge was deserted until it was bought by the notorious Hellfire Club, from whom it derived its name. Hellfire clubs, which originated in the 17th and 18th centuries, were known for their heinous and immoral activities. In 1735, the Hellfire Club was founded in Dublin by Richard Parsons, the first Earl of Ross. The King of Hell was the moniker of the Hellfire Club's president, who rode about in a satanic costume complete with wings, cloven hooves, and horns. It was formerly customary to give the first toast to the devil, who was worshipped by some as a saint, by leaving the vice chair vacant. Overindulgence in alcohol became synonymous with the clubs. At Hellfire Club gatherings, members would chow down on Scoiltheen, a concoction of whiskey and butter. In his memoirs, Malachy Horan recalls the days at the Jobstown Inn when Scoiltheen was a staple menu item. In another anecdote involving the group, a young farmer from Boherna Brina, who wanted to know more about the gatherings, walked up Mount Pellier one night. The club members tracked him down, brought him inside the building, and let him see the night's events. The next morning, he was discovered aimlessly roaming the region. According to legend, he remained mute and unable to utter a word for the remainder of his life. A black cat was the subject of one of the additional club legends. A young man who had come to see a nearby farmhouse felt compelled to check out the Hellfire Club. The body of the man was discovered the next day, face down in a creek in the mountains. He summoned a priest to join him to the Hellfire Club, since his host thought the youngster had been killed. As they arrived at the club, nightfall was approaching. They pounded on the door, and a towering figure in a dark cloak answered. They were dragged into the dining room as soon as they stepped foot in the home. The two guys were coerced into sitting down as the feast was about to start. A sultry black cat sauntered into the room and assumed the position of head of the table. The priest saw that the feline's ears were drooping like horns on each side of its intimidating-looking skull rather than standing upright. With a rise to his feet, the pastor intended to depart from the demonic assemblage as his broad, deep eyes blazed wrath in his direction. Someone grabbed him and shoved him back into his seat. Then, with all his might, He hurled the little bottle of holy water he had in his pocket at the cat, all the while reciting the exorcism prayer. Amidst the mayhem, the farmer's horrified cries pierced the air. After inhaling too much smoke and sulfur, the priest had to leave the home, but he didn't stop praying. When he went outside, he saw the farmer sprawled on the ground, severely clawed all over. There was no full recovery for the unfortunate individual. Once upon a time, there was a Hellfire club that burnt down. The following morning, according to folklore, it still existed as a ruin on top of the hill.